What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Hanson, and today we're going to be breaking down how you can download mods to Ground Branch. Now, unlike Ready or Not, a lot of the mods I'm going to be showing you are more aesthetic. A lot of the Ready or Not mods now are starting to come out with like AI mods and, you know, different quality of life mods that you can actually use to make the game better. Ground Branch for now is more so sticking on the aesthetic side, not so much the altering the game's like core mechanics. So we're going to be breaking down some of the more aesthetic mods that I enjoy, some of the ones that I think are from creators that are making some of the best stuff. Again, we're going to jump into how to download these mods. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so there's a couple of ways that you can actually download mods for Ground Branch. One is Vortex, which is what I'm about to show you, but I have moved to another version because I'm very picky in my mods now, so the ones that I pick I know are more than likely going to stay. So depending on if you're kind of getting into modding, I recommend the Vortex version, but if you've kind of acquired that taste for what you like in a mod, then I'm going to recommend the direct install of the mod, which I'm going to be showing you guys as well. If you're going to be running Vortex, then the first thing you're going to do is go to this website right here. I'll have the URL down in the description, and when you get here, you're going to download the latest version of the Vortex Mod Manager. So once you go through the process of setting up Vortex, it should be fairly self-explanatory, and you get to this page. You might start out in dashboard. That's fine. Just go down here on the left to games. And then once you get here, you're going to type in this search bar the game you want. So for us, we're going to type in Ground Branch. And then when we hover over it, you're going to see manage pop up. So you're going to want to go ahead and click the manage button. It's going to switch to a default profile for you. And now you've got it managed. It should automatically activate the Ground Branch game in the setup, but if it doesn't and you're still seeing like a blank space or another game, then just hover over the game that you've now managed and click activate, and that's going to switch you into the Ground Branch management file. So once you've got it activated, managed, all that good stuff, and you see Ground Branch up here in the top left, go down here to the mods section and you should see this screen, and it's going to be blank. You can either click my link down in the description to Nexus mods, or they kind of have a little funny thing here. You don't have any installed mods. Don't worry, I know a place. If you click on that, it will bring you to the Ground Branch area of Nexus mods. So once we're here, you can scroll through and pick something that you like. You can pick any of these mods that you like. When I first wanted a mod, I wanted a cool set of GP NVGs. So that was my first mod. However, they have now integrated the GP NVGs into Ground Branch. So we're going to go with the next most downloaded mod of all time. That's the Noveski rifle by Modern Lancer. Now, Modern Lancer is a fantastic creator. This is one of the best looking rifle mods I've ever seen in a video game. I love it to death. And we're going to scroll down. You can read the about this mod. For the most part, if you're using Vortex, you don't really need to worry about a lot of the stuff they mentioned. For example, extract the download and put extracted Ground Branch. You don't have to really worry about that if you are using the Vortex Mod Manager. So that's a huge plus. So what you're going to do is click on Files, and it's going to bring you Main Files. And in this Main Files folder for the Noveski rifle, there are a bunch of mods within that one category of mod, the Noveski rifle. So we're going to go ahead and hit this one especially. This is the actual, it replaces the Mark 18, the Noveski rifle. For you guys, you're going to hit Mod Manager Download if you're doing the Vortex version, and then click Slow Download. Now while that downloads, you could do the fast download version, but that's going to ask you to pay for Nexus mods. If you would like, by all means. Nexus mods is a fantastic, you know, mod hub. So if you want to pay for it, by all means. I personally don't, so I just do the slow download. It's not that slow, so you should be good. All right, so once you hit Mod Manager and you hit slow download, it's very briefly in the Vortex app or program, it's going to put it in the downloads category. It will move itself from there into your mods category, because as you can now see, Noveski, Raise T2, and more. You can see it is now installed, so it's enabled and everything. One thing you want to make sure you do, especially if you download a big series of mods back to back, go up here and hit Deploy Mods. Now, an annoying thing that Vortex will do sometimes is you'll hit Deploy Mods and absolutely nothing will happen. So if that happens, just close out Vortex completely, reopen it, and it will then work. Okay, so now that that's enabled, we've hit deploy. It is now time to launch Ground Branch. Now, you can launch it like normal, but just to make sure everything's functioning right, you want to launch it from the Vortex Mod Manager. So right up here where your game is, you want to hit the play button next to Ground Branch. It's going to circle there, and you'll see your game firing up. All right, if this is the mod you're downloading, there's actually a very easy way to see that it downloaded on the main screen. The rifle this guy's holding here should be the modded weapon. But if you can't make it out, if you're not really sure, that's fine. Because if it doesn't work, you can just go into the game, go to the Mark 18, click on it, and make sure that it is the rifle that you were wanting. And that's pretty much all you gotta do. For Vortex, it is super, super easy to manage. It's how I got started in mod management, and I recommend it as a way to get started. But next, I'm gonna be showing you guys how to just straight up install it and not have to deal with Vortex. If you want to do it that way, there is a greater chance of messing up your game, but with the verify integrity methods of Steam, it's actually not that big a deal if you do screw it up too bad. So let's go ahead and break down the other way. Okay, for the other way we were talking about, we're going to go back to the Noveski rifle, and we're going to pretty much do the exact same thing until one point. So we're going to go down here. We do need to pay a little more attention to this kind of stuff if we're doing it this way. Created for 1033 version, extract the download and put extracted ground branch folder in your ground branch install folder. If done correctly, it should ask to replace the files. So we're going to go to files, we're going to go down to that weapon Noveski, and instead of hitting mod manager download, we're just going to hit manual download. And then we're going to hit slow download like before, but this time we're going to get a notification in the bottom left telling us that it's downloading, because we're actually downloading a file, not just moving it immediately onto Vortex. So we're going to have that download there. All right, once that downloads, we're going to go to our download folder. We're going to right click on it and go to WinRAR. Go ahead and download WinRAR. I'm going to have the link to it down in the description. I'm not going to break down how to download WinRAR. It's a bore fest. Install it like any application ever. So we're going to go down to WinRAR. We're going to do open with WinRAR. We're going to close that out because we don't care. And then you're going to see Mark 18 Replacer. We're going to open that, and we're going to see this first ground branch folder. So once we get to that point in WinRAR, we're going to take a break from it. We're going to jump into Steam, go to your actual game, and do Manage, Browse Local Files. So right click on the game, Manage, Browse Local Files, and it's going to pull up your file explorer, and it's going to be your game directory. This is your main directory. It's, you know, Steam apps, common, ground branch. So now that we're in here, so then we're going to put WinRAR right next to our directory. That way it's simple, right? We're not having to kind of screw with everything. We open the Mark 18 Replacer. We're right here. And we opened the ground branch from our games, and now we're in the main directory. Drag this entire folder just into an open area and let go. Now what that's going to do is it's going to move all those files in. Now you're going to be hit with this message. The destination has 134 files with the same names. What do you want to do? What we want to do is we want to replace the files there, because what they're doing is they've named their modded file the same as the stock vanilla version of the game. So we're replacing that so that we see that in the game instead of something else. Modding. So we're going to go ahead and replace the files in the destination. It's going to run through that process and be done. You won't notice anything really change over here. You'll just see that process end, and that's how you know it's good. And the way we're going to make sure all that worked is the same way we did with the Vortex. We're just going to open up the game, make sure what we wanted modded is now modded, and move on from there. All right, so fast forward a little bit of editing, a couple of days, and a whole haircut, and we're at today, which is when I was editing and realized that I totally forgot to tell you the top 3 mods that I enjoy, which I told you I would do at the beginning. Yeah, I forgot about all that. So I'm going to do that now. So let's jump back over here. I also just realized now that because the lighting in this window is different and all that stuff, that it's probably the color correction is going to be totally wrong if I just copy and paste. So I'm going to have to try to match it, and that's a headache. But anyway, as we were saying, to kick off the top 3 mods that I enjoy, it's first going to be this one right here in the top center. So what this mod does is it replaces the JPC with a custom FCPC with tons of kit. As you can see, it's a pretty stark contrast from what the typical JPC is, and because the vests at this point in the game do not have any weight in protectability or anything like that, it really just makes sense to replace this model with the mod versus one of the vests that actually don't look too bad. So this is my modern Lancer. He is going to be featured a couple of times in this whole little segment here. This mod is definitely a banger. Go check it out. All right, so the next mod is in that same row of the popular in the past 30 days as of April 27th, and that is the AVS ZIP-ON Backpack, and it's right here on the right underneath my camera. So this mod actually replaces the in-game breaching charge. So not only is it aesthetic, but it also takes the form of something that's actually functional in the game. So that way it can also be removable if you don't want to run it. It features a functional chem light on the back of it. A typical V-light you can actually change the color of, but there's actually no way to change the color of the model. So you're gonna have to stick with green. But this mod, which is also by Modern Lancer, it is fantastic. It adds another little bit of an aesthetic beauty that I believe is needed in Ground Branch. All right, so we're gonna break away from the Modern Lancer love. We're gonna jump into another creator, and this is Hyoga1, and he has made the AK-105 Zenit. This is going to replace the typical AK-105 in the game, and let me tell you, I love it. I didn't used to think I was a huge AK guy. In real life, I would prefer an AR-15 and AR platform of some type. However, running the AK in this game just feels good. Actually, in a lot of games outside of Call of Duty, AKs are good. My opinion of the AK was actually tainted by Call of Duty because the AK was always reckless, crazy, hard to control weapon. However, in most other games, it's actually very functional, including Ground Branch. So because it's functional, I kind of love this two-tone AK kind of look. So once again, this mod from Hyoga1 is in my top 3. So guys, that's going to be it. I hope you figured out something. I hope you figured out how to install these mods. If you have any questions, please reach out to me down in the comments. I would love to get in touch with you guys and help you out. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I think you would enjoy it. We do a lot of tactical games and gameplay, and we would love to have you. So please, everybody, be safe, stay happy. Peace out.